Hello there. My name is My Maven. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever it is that you are. Today, this video is viewer discretion advised. So if you are young and let's say below the age of 12, 13, I suggest you get an adult. Yes. I used to teach this topic when I worked in the university. And I taught humanities, and my students were stunned because they had no idea this was going on. This video is called the Darien Gap. Does anyone know what the Darien Gap is? If you don't, if you do, here are the details. Here's what's been going on all these years. So, what is the Darien Gap? The Darien Gap is a huge, massive stretch of land that separates Colombia and Panama. It's known as one of the wildest jungles in the world. It's dense, it's lawless, and largely uninhabited, making it a terrifying place for anyone who has to cross it. People started crossing the Darien in the 1990s into the 2000s, but a large amount of people went through in the 2010s. Okay, so what is it? What am I talking about here? The Darien is a dangerous journey that everyday people from all over the world cross. People from Africa, people from Asia, different parts of South America, they all come through the Darien to get to the United States and to Canada. So imagine walking for 1 to 2 weeks through this unforgiving terrain, with no clear instructions or how to navigate it. Many people start their journey in a town called Necoclí in Colombia, heading west toward the Caribbean. For many migrants from places like Asia, Haiti, Middle East, and Africa, their journey begins in Ecuador or in Brazil because it's easier to get a visa. But to get from Panama to Colombia, you must face the perilous Darien Gap on foot. There's no other way around it, just by foot. The jungle is dangerous, okay? So let me paint the picture to you. While you're in the jungle, you're facing jaguars and snakes and spiders and all different kinds of animals that could bite you. So once bitten, what do? There's no medicine. There's no medical help. There's no one to help you. There's no one to do anything for you except just to either sit by your side until hopefully you don't die, or sit by your side until someone can help to carry you up the mountain. So the gap is a treacherous trail that goes uphill. It's very muddy. It's very wet. You need boots, and you have to cross lots of rivers as well. Rivers and muddy terrain. If you fall back, the way it's set up, you can fall back into the trees and be maimed and die. So there's no falling back, sliding back. Okay? So these encounters are definitely life-threatening. And you can get injured. Okay? People get injured along the way, and they're just waiting to die or waiting for help, and there's no help that comes. Just people who are also on their way up. So people get abandoned by their groups. So people who go this route in the Darien, they take food, okay, in their backpacks, in bags. They take all their life's possessions, hoping for a better future, hoping for a better life, upon getting into the U.S. or getting in through the U.S. and getting into Canada. Now, the issue with taking all these things with you is there are robbers on the way to rob you and take everything that you have. Hopefully that's all they take is the food that you have. If they take anything else, which I'm going to talk about, then that's another situation. So if your food is taken and you're having to walk for 2 weeks through this treacherous terrain, what do? Who's going to feed you? You're going to starve, okay? Because you're using up all this energy to cross rivers and to hike upward through muddy terrain and wooded areas. with your family, with children strapped to your back. Mothers going through this terrain, breastfeeding, crossing rivers, breastfeeding, children, babies on their backs. Some people are pregnant as they're crossing this terrain. So, many people run out of food, okay, and there's nothing to eat for them. In this terrain, on the way, there are smugglers who smuggle people, and they promise to take you all the way, but unfortunately, they sometimes break their promises because they don't want to get caught and imprisoned because what they're doing is not legal, right? They could face serious consequences. So instead of smuggling the people all the way, they leave them stranded. And then what do? Because the person who was supposed to take you all the way and took your money, by the way, has left you. So let's talk about the human cost of this. Okay, what do I mean by the human cost? I mean what people actually go through physically. Besides starving, besides running the risk of being bitten by a snake or a spider, what else do people go through? So this is where viewer discretion is advised. Women go through a lot on this terrain. Yeah, as you can imagine, you're with groups of people and you could be alone, or you could be by yourself, or you're traveling with your family or your children. What happens is these robbers, they come upon the groups or individuals and they separate the women and the SA, the women. So this is what's been going on. Women get pulled aside, and this happens to them. This has been going on for years and years and years. Yeah? So according to my research, what a lot of women tend to do, or what they did, is cover themselves in mud so that the robbers don't find them appealing to physically harm them. Some women have been known to hide money in their private areas because they need to keep the money. But if someone wants to harm you and rob you, unfortunately, it has been known that when the women get pulled aside, that their private areas are checked for money. And then afterwards, if they are not killed, if they survive something like that, then they're brought back to the group. And then they continue onward if the group is able to wait for you. So this is a part of the Darien Gap. A lot of SAing happening there. A lot of physical harm happening there. This is a side video that I'm adding to the Darien Gap. It'll either be at the end or inserted in the video. So what I wanted to add, because I don't want to sugarcoat anything, is that when the women are pulled aside, that the insides of their private areas are checked. That area is not just checked. The inside of the private area is checked. So can you imagine enduring something like that? And for those around the world who don't know what SA means, it means they're being sexually assaulted. They're being raped. So I don't want to sugarcoat that or leave anyone wondering what I'm talking about. Okay, let's get back to the video, or this will be tagged at the end. Some of the robbers come up and threaten to chop off arms and harm everybody. People are checked and stripped. Even if they're not stripped, they're physically, everything is checked so that they can be robbed. So that is the Darien Gap. Once they get to the Mexico border, to the US-Mexico border, then they can find a way to go around it, because it's not, as far as I know, it's not complete. And they get into the US to seek asylum. So this is what's been going on. Now, Why does this matter? Why am I bringing this up? Why am I bringing this up? I'm sharing this because it is essential to understand what millions of people have endured just to reach safety in the U.S. I'm not saying everyone has gone this route, but millions of people have gone this route. So when you see an immigrant, remember the resilience and desperation, the fleeing for their lives that brought them to your doorstep. So be kind, show compassion, because their journey is often one of survival. And U.S. citizens, you need to think about this, because what if one day the roles are reversed and you wind up on someone's doorstep? One day you might find yourself in a situation where you need to seek refuge in another country, and many U.S. citizens are already doing that, going to other people's countries, hoping for mercy and kindness as they navigate a new country and culture. I've posted about this in various platforms, and the responses that I've gotten actually troubles me. A lot of people have said in my comments, so you should know this, United States citizens, people have said to me in my comments, they made their beds, let them lay in it. We don't want them in our country. Send them back. Okay? These are the comments that I've gotten. You need to know that people are saying this. Other countries' citizens are saying this about U.S. citizens. They don't have empathy or sympathy. Right? So if you are a U.S. citizen and you happen to have roots in other countries, like, for example, you're Irish or Finnish or Australian or African from some African country, you should strongly consider getting a second passport. Having dual citizenship can provide a safety net in uncertain times, giving you freedom and security when you need it most. Remember, a passport is not just a travel document. It's a form of wealth and freedom. Passport is wealth. Yeah? So having multiple passports couldn't harm you. It's better for you. Please share this message to help raise awareness about the realities of migration and the importance of compassion. So if you have another, let's say your father was from a different country or your mother's from a different country, look into getting that citizenship and add it to your U.S. passport. I strongly encourage people to do that. So that is the message on the Darien Gap. I shared it so that you would know what people go through to come to you. And so that one day if you have to go somewhere else, to hope that someone treats you better than maybe you treated them. Until next time, goodbye.